welcome to the next instalment of Fatigue Fighter. As promised, I'm working towards my 6-week summer holiday survival vlog, which is going to be starting on Monday. So I'm going to post as often as I can around how I'm getting on with my daughter and fatigue and fibro symptoms and how we're coping essentially as a family, and the things that I'm doing to try and keep away from the dreaded flare-up, which I feel at some point might end up being quite inevitable over the summer holidays, but let's just see if we can pace ourselves effectively and if I can really make it work. So with that in mind, I have decided to sort of put together my top tips for the summer holidays, or the things that I do or try to do on a day-to-day basis that just make me feel a little bit better. I've just realised I think I'm clashing with my giraffes, but that's fine. I love this jumper. I was feeling like it needs to be bright and breezy today because I'm coming out the end of a bit of a flare-up myself at the moment. So yeah, I thought I'd try and be bright. Anyway, just like my giraffes. Yeah, so top tips for fending off, I suppose, the dreaded fatigue over the holidays. There is a caveat attached to these though, and that is that they don't always work. We can't always fend off a flare-up or fatigue. It just happens. It happened to me yesterday, and I just had to put myself to bed. And I thought actually I was doing really well during the week, and I thought I'd paced myself really well, but with all the best intentions and the things that we do, sometimes it can just happen and we just have to accept that. But we need to be trying our hardest to make the best of those flare-ups and to make them not last as long, make them less impactful, and also, if we can, avoid having them all together, right? So that would be the ideal. So yeah, so I've just got a few tips that I thought you might like to try out or hear about before we sort of start the vlog over the next 6 weeks. So my first tip number 1, is water. So I know everyone talks about hydration, and water is the elixir of life. It is the key to everything. So feeling hydrated is going to be really, really important. So I did a health kick, I think, that was about 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, and it was awesome. I really became the fittest I'd ever been, if I'm honest. I was sort of in a bit of a lull. I hadn't had any flare-ups for a long time, so I was feeling quite good at the time. And therefore managed a nice 3-month health kick and really kind of focused on getting fit. Went out the window with the next flare-up, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, the one tip that my trainer gave me that really stuck, and I would say is quite life-changing, is to have a pint of water every morning as soon as you wake up. So the moment you wake up, down a pint of water, or drink it as fast as you can, essentially. What that does is it kickstarts your system. It wakes you up. Now, if you're anything like me, I suffer with fatigue and aches and pains worse in the morning. So on waking, I feel pretty rubbish most days. Having a pint of water straight off the bat really helps me. It clears my head a little bit. I suffer with quite bad brain fog regularly. That's one of my worst symptoms, if I'm honest. My most impactful symptom is brain fog. So having that pint of water starts my day with a little bit more clarity than I would, and also it helps kickstart my hydration. So I am more likely to hit my hydration goals if I have that pint of water. Now, what I was doing during the health kick was having a pint of water with every meal, and then I'd hit my 2-3 litres a day, no problem. But I think the one thing I did take away from that is the morning one makes a world of difference. So yeah, hydrate. And also, people that don't suffer with fibro or other fatigue related illnesses need to drink water to fend off fatigue as well. So why would we want to make the situation worse for ourselves? Let's rule out hydration as a cause of the fatigue, or the reason why the fatigue is worse. let's just be hydrated. Got the sniffles. Never mind. The dog's asleep behind me. I thought I'm sitting in the corner here so that the dog can, so you can see, because you haven't met Monty yet, but I'll introduce you when he's awake. Yeah, so water. So top tip number 2. So this is a big one, and I don't know if people do manage it, but for me, getting up before my daughter is like the holy grail. I don't manage it all the time, and I want to. Now, when I wake up, I feel achy and tired and just like I just want to rest, stay in bed. And it takes a lot sometimes to overcome that feeling. But I feel that no matter what time I get up, whether I have a lay-in or if I get up really early, I feel that way. So for me, the key is really, if I can get up before my daughter, so say 6 a.m, I'm not ready to join the 5 a.m. club if I'm honest. So 6 a.m, that gives me an hour to get showered, dressed, have my pint of water, have a coffee quietly, think about the day, plan the day ahead, make me feel in control of myself. And it's just having that opportunity to have that me time before the chaos of the day. This is the total ideal for me. And if I'm honest, I don't hit it as regularly as I'd like to. So over the next 6 weeks, I'm really going to try and do that much more often. I'm going to set my alarm, get up before Ruby, because to be honest, there's no benefit of me having a lay-in because I feel just as achy for the first couple of hours anyway. So I might as well spend that first hour calmly preparing for the day. And also, I don't know about you, but when your child comes and wakes you up early in the morning, come on, you know, it's not on your terms. And you have to have energy immediately, and you're expected to just switch out of sleep mode into active mode, and it's really hard. So I like to just walk into my daughter's bedroom and wake her up and be ready for the day and dressed. And it's an ideal, and I know many of us don't do it, and it depends on what your family dynamics are, you know, and some people just like to lay around in their pyjamas, which is absolutely fine, you know. But for me, once I've had a shower and I'm up and dressed and I've had my me time, I'm ready for the day. So that is tip number 2. And you can tell I've got them written down here because I've mentioned before I do suffer with brain fog. So I struggle to remember the order of things and what I need to say. So you might see me at times scrolling through, and that's just a way that I have adapted how I work and how I do things on a day-to-day. It's all about lists and reminding myself what I need to do, essentially. So yes, let's get up before your child. So number 3, let's get the right number of fingers up. Number 3 is plan holidays. I have done that, and I think I will share my plan and my diary at some point to show you what it looks like. It's sort of planned to death, but you know, I want to know what I'm doing each day with my daughter, where I need to put my major parts of my energy into the day, essentially. So what activities are we doing? How much energy is that going to take? Therefore, I need to adapt what the rest of the day looks like. So for example, if we were going to the zoo for the whole day and walking around with friends, when we get home, I might want to have in my back pocket some sort of calm, chilled out activities, or like a board game or whatever, that I can sit either outside or inside with her to do. Maybe I will allow her to have that couple of hours time on YouTube, on her iPad, so that she can have some downtime with me, and perhaps I'll go for a nap with her. It's building it into the day, and knowing that you're going to get that rest. Because for me, mentally, if I feel like I've got this activity and this activity and this activity and there's no rest, and where am I going to fit the rest in? The stress actually triggers a flare up as well, and it triggers fatigue. So knowing that I'm going to get that break is really important to me. So yeah, so think about sit down activities, think about where your rests are going to be, you know, where you're going to have a quiet cup of tea, and what are you going to do to ensure your child has that quiet time as well. The last thing you want is to be aching head to toe after a day out at 6 p.m. and your daughter coming and dragging you into the garden to do an assault course some days. You know, some days you're fine with that, other days it's no go. So I think it's learning and understanding where your limits are, listening to your body and really learning from each day and inputting. So what didn't work one day, learn from that and think, okay, how am I going to adapt the next couple of days to try and address that? How do I, you know, if I'm feeling very, very tired, what was the reason for that? What changes can I make to the plan? And it means that you get more out of the day and more quality time with your child. If you end up having a massive flare up, then, you know, you end up in bed for half a day or whatever, or a whole day or days on end. And ideally that's what we want to try and avoid. So yeah, I am going to do another video around pacing and what that looks like for me, and what tools are out there to use to help you pace the activities of your day to day, so that you're able to conserve your energy and use your energy where you need to prioritise your energy. So, you know, those key activities like your child's sports day or parents' evening, or even if you want to prioritise one day your own self-care, you know, do less during the day so that in the evening you can go to the gym or to, you know, wash your hair or whatever that looks like for you. So anyway, so we'll talk about that in another video, but that was my third tip. Okay, number 4. Now, this might not be for everybody, but I have a little secret weapon, which is, I'm looking around because I had a little pot to show you, which is CBD. And I have found a nice little company that I've ordered something from, and I tried it and it works amazingly taken in the morning. There are loads of different companies out there, loads of different CBD products. For me, I use the oil, and every morning just drop a few drops under my tongue, and it sort of lifts me, it refocuses me, and where I get overwhelmed and anxious in the mornings, it does reduce that, which is awesome. I do get overwhelmed because I'm tired and the day seems busy, and then that raises stress and anxiety and then more fatigue on top. So yeah, so the CBD has really helped me, but people have different experiences of it. People don't necessarily want to use it. There are so many other things out there to try, and I will do a separate video on CBD, and I will put the link to the company that I use down here. They're great because they have different products for what your needs are. So I've chosen a product that helps awaken you. It's called Awaken, and it helps wake you up in the morning and sort of give you that sense of well-being. There's one that calms you throughout the day, and there's also one that helps you sleep, which is awesome. And they have like a broad spectrum CBD oil as well, just for general use. So yeah, it's always worth a try. It was a game changer for me. So yeah, it's worth looking into. So, so where am I? Tip number 5. There you go. I think you just saw the brain fog alert come off on the screen there. Yes, I nearly forgot what number I was at. Number 5, we've talked about pacing already, but yeah, can't reiterate that enough. In fact, I will go into that in a different video at another time. Number 6, oh my gosh, I've been booking in play dates for my daughter here, there and everywhere for over the summer holidays. You know, for me, if she's entertained at home, I can have friends over at home, that's fine. It takes the onus off of me to always be playing with my daughter. I do only have one child, so I am her friend at home, her playmate a lot of the time, and it can be very, very tiring. So if you're in that position yourself, you may want to think about having more play dates at home. If I'm honest, I found it incredibly daunting at first because, you know, I felt like my house had to be tidy and ready, and I was seeing these little people as guests and their parents sort of coming in. I want to be able to say, come in for a cup of tea, and, you know, if the house isn't spick and span. But that's my hang up, and, you know, people don't care. People just want to come around and spend time with you and drop their child off essentially and have a play date, which is always very nice, right? So yeah, so I find during that time it takes the pressure off of me. So yeah, play dates, really good idea. And do make time. this is my 7th tip. Please make time for self-care where you can. The 6 weeks is long, it is, if you suffer with fatigue. So finding a time slot that you can spend time looking after yourself, give yourself a bit of a spa session at home, go out for a walk, yeah, anything like that. Try and find some time to just go to a cafe with a friend or whatever, just to get out of the house and to regroup and refocus. Self-care might even look at just a couple of hours nap every day, or an hour's nap every day, which is perfect, or sitting reading a book. It's around planning. How are you going to be able to do that? And it's about looking after your mental health as well as your physical health. So yeah, definitely think about self-care. And my last tip for now, there's going to be probably more videos with a few more ideas that I've come up with, but yeah, the final tip for me is try and be guilt-free. So you need to rest when you need it. If you need to give your child a screen, give your child a screen. You know, my daughter sometimes FaceTimes her friends and kind of watches films with her friend while they're sort of watching each other watch it. So they're like in the same room, which is actually sounds a bit strange, but it's quite sweet as well. You know, she's 7, and you know that's the way she connects with her friends. So I allow that, and that's awesome. So because she gets that contact, but I also get some downtime. But don't feel guilty about needing that downtime and looking after yourself, because your child and your children and your family need you to be well and rested. So definitely don't worry about being superwoman or super dad over the course of those 6 weeks. It is going to be a matter of really trying to enjoy your time with your children and just making the most of what you've got. And no one's summer holidays are perfect, no matter what you see on Instagram, no matter what you see on Facebook. No one's is perfect. They've all got screaming kids. They've all got an element of stress at times. People have different health issues that they're not showing, you know. So yeah, think about number one and make sure that you're getting the time that you need as well. So there are tools and things that we can use to sort of help that along, and I will do another video and probably post some ideas down in the comments as well. But they were my initial kind of tips, quite generalised in many respects, but they're the things that I'm going to try and do, and I'm going to try and hold myself accountable via the vlog. We'll see how I get on, especially with those early mornings. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. But yeah, essentially, that's it. So if you would like to comment on this video, it'd be really nice to hear what your thoughts are around the summer holidays, what your main fears are, what your worries are, how you think you're going to sort of manage on a day-to-day. And also, please let me know what you thought of the video as well. And if you can like the video, that would be awesome. And if you want to subscribe, that's great. There's going to be more videos like this to come, especially as I get better at them. There's going to be lots of interesting stuff to watch, and hopefully we can go on this journey together. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I will see you on the other side in the next video. Okay, bye.